Hello, and welcome to the Live Past Crazy Show. Your host is Yanmitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with her? Yanmitra appreciates you taking the time out to listen to the podcast, and it is her sincere hope that what we share is something that you can use to help you and someone you know live past crazy.
Oh, I am funny. Hey guys. Happy, what's today? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show, evening edition. Y'all miss me this morning? I missed y'all this morning. Like, I did. So, I figured I might as well go ahead and do the evening edition of the Fearless Morning Show because I missed y'all. And then I'll still see you bright and early tomorrow morning at 7:15. So there's that. So welcome. Please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel. They can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there. Y'all don't judge my hair. I worked out. I sweated hard today. So we got braids going on today. So there they, two little pigtails. So please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. And don't forget, we have 5 books you can catch. You can grab any of the books on. We're in Walmart.com. We're in Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Amazon, of course. And then, of course, you can grab, if you don't go to none of them places, you won't buy your book directly from me, send me a message and I got you. But I missed you guys this morning. I didn't do the morning show this morning. And I don't feel right when I don't do it. So I came in. I was going to say good morning, Kimberly. That's how used I am to seeing y'all in the morning. It's saying good morning. Hey, Kimberly. So let's get started. Please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. And if your friends and family don't have Facebook, don't forget there's a YouTube channel with 450 videos over there. There's a podcast. It's the Live Past Crazy Show. So if you have an Android, Apple, whatever, if you type in the Live Past Crazy Show, my podcast is going to show up. You can listen there. I am revamping that so you can listen to old episodes. And you can always grab you some books. All right. I got 2 quotes for y'all for this evening as we close out the day. So one is, the best thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time. Period. Best thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time. You looking for something to happen down the road and it's happening every day. It ain't going to be, you're going to wake up in 20 days down the road, miraculously something's going to happen. Your future happens every single day. Period. And the second quote, that's by Abraham Lincoln. The second quote, don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seed that you planted. And yeah, we talked about that, for being fruitful and multiplying yesterday. Being fruitful and multiplying. Like everybody says, I want to be fruitful and multiply. I want my blessings to be abundant. But are you planting the thing? Are you cultivating? Are you taking care of it so that you can, so that it can multiply? Because you saying you want to do something and you putting 0 effort behind it doesn't multiply it. Because any number times 0 is still 0. So you can be great at a thing, but if you're not putting any will behind it, you ain't moving that thing. Phenomenal will, average skill. Phenomenal skill, average will. It don't go together. You got to have a phenomenal will to go with that. So don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. And the best thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time. And that is by Abraham Lincoln. So let's get right into the thought of the day. But as we close out the evening, and I think this is a good one to close out for you to for real think about, and to think about and ponder you remember, my man, I seen how things that make you go, So think about this. What is your non-negotiable point? What is your breaking point? What is that your hard stop? What is that one thing that is going to happen to you, around you, with your friends, your family, that one thing that's going to happen in order for you to change. Like, what is that one thing? What is going to be your breaking point? What is that one non-negotiable thing that you like, listen, I can handle a lot of things, but this one thing I can't handle. What is that one thing? And if it has already happened, like someone has crossed your non-negotiable line, you've been past your hard stop. Like you've always said, if this happened to me, then I would do this. And it has happened to you. You haven't done anything. Why is that? And what are you going to do about it? So can we say that we're angry and frustrated about the situation because it happened? Or we angry and frustrated at ourselves because someone crossed something, whether it's job, career, person, crossed our boundaries that we set in place, and we allowed them to cross our boundaries. And because we allowed it and didn't stop it, now we mad. But who we mad at though? Are we mad at them for crossing our boundaries? Or are we mad at ourselves for not stopping it when it crossed our boundaries? What is your non-negotiable? What is your breaking point? What is the thing that's going to happen that you say, you know what? Nah, dog. This ain't it. I'm not going to allow this thing to continue. What is that? And how many times have we negotiated that down and over? How many times have you negotiated your breaking point? How many times have you negotiated that thing because you said, if that woman or if that man ever did this to me, this is what I would do. And then it happened to you. And here you are finding yourself in a situation you never dreamed humanly possible that could happen to you because you're you. How could it happen to you? Because it happened to everybody else. It just don't happen to you because you're you. So are you mad at them because they crossed the line? Or are you mad at yourself because you allowed them to continuously cross the line? Like you had a breaking point and the relationship knocked it over. You had a breaking point and the career took you down. You had a breaking point with a friendship and you kept letting them run over you. What's the breaking point? And then if you mad because somebody has crossed your boundaries, if you're upset because they have went past your breaking point, they went past your non-negotiable, you're mad about that. But who we mad at though? This is a question I had to ask myself. I've been asking myself this question since before my birthday. So I had some non-negotiables and I was like, okay, they tapping that line. What am I going to do? And I found myself getting angry. And then I was like, well, am I angry because they crossed the line? Or I'm angry because I allowed the thing that I said wasn't going, you can't do this thing. And I allowed them to do that anyway. So over the weekend, I had to come to a hard decision. Friday, I had to come to a hard decision. And Monday, I instated that hard decision. Never felt better. I never felt better because I realized JoJo was angry at herself. I was mad because the one thing that I said I could not allow to happen to me, because for me, I have triggers and there's just certain things that I cannot handle. I cannot handle adults talking to me like I'm 6, 7, 8, 5, 4, 3, 2 years old. I can't handle that. That's my trigger. And as professional as I am in corporate America, and as much as I can work and walk through things and work around things, there are still some non-negotiables that I'm going to have in place, period, that if you bump up against it, I'm going to say, excuse me, that's my boundary. Excuse me. And y'all know I talk about honoring somebody's boundaries. From this point, I cannot go and you cannot come. And I'm saying, excuse me, you're on my boundary. And I'm respecting you enough to say, this is my boundary. Tell me how to work inside of yours, or how we can work inside of this so you don't cross this line. And so I had to come to a hard decision about what JoJo was going to do, because I found myself angry. Like, I don't think y'all know how, like, I was fighting mad. I called my sister. If my sister, Gravy, you still on here? I called my sister ready to fight. I called my mama ready to fight. That's how mad I was. And I didn't like that. And I realized I was really mad at myself because my non-negotiables, I had allowed them to ignore them and allowed them to walk over my non-negotiables, period. And because I allowed that, I was angry at myself. And then I was angry at them. So I was big mad. I was big mad. Rosie laughing at me. So what is going to be your breaking point? What is your non-negotiable for you to say, listen, I can't do this. And this is what I found, that sometimes we allow people to push past our breaking point and our non-negotiable points because we're not ready, willing, and able to handle the consequences that we said we were going to give if they cross those lines. So you can talk about it, but if you ain't trying to be about it, meaning you can say, I wish a man would do this to me, and then a man does. Right? Well, you don't want to deal with the ramifications of it happened and now you got to address it. Or maybe it's your career. I wish somebody at work would treat me this way, and then they did, but you are not willing to deal with the ramifications that come with you making a decision. So you keep letting them past your boundaries, and you keep arguing and fussing and complaining about what you hate and what you don't like. But the solution was simple. Once I removed my ego out of the way, once I checked myself and realized there was a decision to be made, and the decision was solely mine. And until we can understand what our breaking point is, are we willing to handle what comes with making a decision about your breaking point? Saying, hey, from this point, I can't go and you can't come. Like, peace out. I'm on my own from here. What is that breaking point? What is it going to take for you to acknowledge your breaking point? What is that going to take? What does that look like? If you say, Judge, I'm so far past my breaking point, if I say something, I'm going to hurt somebody. All right, then we know you far past your breaking point. But the question still remains, what you going to do about it? Are you going, because we celebrating day ones, right? So you just going to keep letting it go? You're going to keep letting them run over your breaking point? Your standards, your character, your mental health, your emotional health. You're going to just keep letting people run over that, flip-flop back and forth because they can, because you are giving them the authority and the freedom to do so. And then you complain about it. See, let's be very clear. When it comes to our breaking point and people crossing the line, we are still in control. I'm still in control of my breaking point. Still in control. It's mine. And if I continue to allow you to go past my breaking point, my standards, and you're destroying my character and my standards and my mental and everything that is JoJo is at question, then I am solely responsible for how I feel. I can't really get mad at you because you're doing exactly what you said you're going to do. Your career, your job is doing exactly what they said they're going to do. They didn't change. How they crossed your border, that changed. How you want to react to that, that needs to change. So as we close out a Tuesday night, I missed y'all this morning. If this is your first time joining the Fearless Morning Show, welcome. Yes, this is the evening edition because I didn't get a chance to do it this morning. Rosie went and got her permit, y'all. Not ready. She's yelling from the bathroom. She's excited. Not ready. So we're doing the evening edition. So think about that. What is your breaking point? What's going to have to happen for you to be like, boop, stop. No, we're not going past there. The quote of the day, we have two. The best thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time by Abraham Lincoln. The second one is don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seed that you plant. And if you missed yesterday's show about being fruitful and multiplying, please go back and watch that. Because if there's any teachers on here, shoot, forget teachers. If you're past third grade, you know any number times zero is. If you don't learn nothing else about math, that's what you learn. So are you planting anything for it to multiply and grow? You want to be fruitful in all things, right? You want to be fruitful in your money and your relationships, but are you planting anything? Because if there's nothing there for it to multiply with, meaning you are wonderfully gifted at this thing, but if you're not adding any will and action behind it, there's nothing for it to multiply. So there will never be no fruitful and multiplying because you ain't planted nothing. So that quote goes with yesterday. Today, the fearless thought. This evening, ask yourself, this is a good way to close out I like to close out the night, like to ask myself a question and to write it down in my journal and to think about. Now, I don't do this every night, but some days things hit me kind of hard. And I be like, now, Jojo, let's check yourself. So I did this on Friday. Actually, I've been doing it since my birthday, the week before my birthday. Friday, I made the decision. And come Monday, I felt amazing. Actually, Friday, I felt amazing. Monday was even better. What is your breaking point? What is that? What is your non-negotiable? What is that one thing that is going on in your life that you swore would never happen to you? What is that thing? And ask yourself, are you mad at that? Or are you mad at yourself because that thing has crossed all of your boundaries? It has questioned your character. It has questioned your mental health. It has questioned your ability to think. And let me tell you something. You can convince yourself of anything you want. You can convince yourself. But Jojo, it ain't that bad though. See, they ain't a bad person. Like they don't hit me. But you know, they talk to me sideways some type of way. I want you to add up all them sideways days and see where it's going to get you in a couple of months. In a year. Because I guarantee you, if they've been talking to you sideways for a couple of months or a couple of years, you know that rhetoric by heart. You know what they fixing to say. You know how you getting ready to feel. And then you won't have to try to pump yourself up to feel better about what they said. And you ain't ever going to feel better because all you're going to hear is their words. So you can say, well, at least they not as bad as. You can convince yourself of that all day long. You're free to do that. You don't have to justify anything with me. I just ask yourself that question. At what point do you honor yourself, your character, your mental health, your emotional health, your career, your stability for who you say you are? At what point that you say, that's my breaking point? From honoring your boundaries, from this point, I cannot go and you cannot come. I'm going to honor you that's what you want to do, but it ain't what Jojo want to do. So from this point, deuces. I can't go and you can't come. There's no hard feelings. It can't go that way. What is your breaking point? What is it going to take for you to get there? And I know that I had to ask myself two questions. Like, who am I mad at? One, am I mad at them for crossing the boundaries? Because I say, hey, in my career, don't do this. Or, hey, in my relationship, don't do this. Don't talk to me this way. Don't do that. And it happened anyway. Am I mad at them because they came at me sideways, or my career or whatever came at me sideways? Or am I mad at myself because I said all of this talk on this side, but when it actually happened, I did nothing? So am I mad at myself because I didn't hold myself to that standard? And because I'm not ready to deal with the ramification of saying, you know what, hold up, I let you get away with it a couple of times, but now, you know what, let me readjust myself, and it can't keep going on. Some of us are at that point, but because we don't want everybody to think a certain way or know our business, or we have to give up our illusion of our life. We keep letting people cross our borders and our boundaries. We keep getting mad at them. We more mad at ourselves, but we ain't ready and willing and able to handle the decision-making process that comes behind it. I went through this process from the first, my birthday was June 29th. So the week before up until Friday, I went through this thought process, wrote it out in my journal. Like, Jojo, like, for real, why you mad though? Why you mad? because they did this and this. Oh, but that's your boundary, right? You're in control of it. Yes. So what are you going to do about it? Oh, I have to do something about it. And when I figured that out, the decision, what's not hard is making a decision. That's not hard. You dealing with the ramifications after you make the decision. That's the hard part. And that's why we don't make the decision. That's how you can find your grandma, your mama, your sister, your auntie in a marriage they hate 30 years down the line. Because at year 2, when he crossed her boundaries, she wanted everybody to assume she had a perfect marriage, and she didn't want to deal with nobody's mouth. She didn't want to have to deal with her mama saying, I told you so. She didn't want to have to deal with her sister, her cousin, been there and done that. She didn't want to have to deal with none of that. So she said, you know what, you can keep crossing my boundary. And I'm just going to get mad at you, and I'm going to get madder at me. Now you got health problems. Now you got a headache, heartache, stomach ache, high blood pressure, diabetes, overweight. You got pains everywhere, and you don't know why. It is because you are eating yourself every single day because you refuse to acknowledge that someone has crossed your boundaries, and because you're not ready to make that decision to say, hey, boo, you can't do this no more, and deal with the ramifications of that decision. You find yourself in the middle of crazy. And boo, it's an ugly cycle. Oh, it don't stop. It just keep. And before you know it, you in such a dark place of crazy. You don't know how the hell to get out. You don't know how the hell to get out. You don't know how it started, where it came from, and who these people is. But we all in here crazy together. What's your breaking point? What is that thing? What is going to be your breaking point that you say, listen, I've been there. I've been married a couple of times. Okay. What's my breaking point though? Because the first marriage I was like, oh, I don't want to get a divorce because my mama said that man wasn't no good. And then, my sisters and my brothers, and I'd have to dip. So I stayed and got my tail beat for 2 years because I wasn't willing to deal with the ramifications of a decision for somebody crossing my boundaries. So what's going to be your breaking point? And then ask yourself, are you mad at them for crossing your boundaries? Or are you more mad at yourself because they crossed your boundaries and you didn't do nothing about it? Because I was one of those women that said, I wish a man would put his hands on me. I would kill him. And then when a man put his hands on me, guess what I did? I allowed him to put his hands on me again. And so we talk about it, but we don't be about it. So now I'm having to deal with all of that, and I'm having to eat my words. So I'm going to give you the answer. You more mad at yourself than you are at them crossing a boundary because you said out loud to everybody, this is my boundary. My job better not do this to me. And your job did that to you. A man better not do that to you. And a man did that. A woman better not cuss at me, and she did. I wish my friend would do this, and it happened. And you didn't do nothing about it. You ain't mad at them. You a little bit mad at them, but you more mad at yourself because you said it, it happened, and you ain't do nothing about it. Been there, done that a couple times. So on this lovely day, it's amazing Tuesday evening. Thank you so much for joining the Fearless Morning Show evening edition because I missed you guys this morning. I'll be back tomorrow morning bright and early, 7:15. Today, the fearless quote of the day, we have 2. The best thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time. The second one, don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. What are you planting today? And today, the thing that you may actually plant is you deciding that you are no longer allow somebody to cross that boundary. Maybe today that's your seed. Maybe today is the thought that, you know what? This here about to be my breaking point. Think about it. Think about why you're really mad. And then think about, well, if you stood up and did something about it, what would happen? And some of us, it is the thought of the thing that scares us and not the actual thing. You more afraid of the idea of saying something than the words actually leaving your mouth. So on this wonderful day, allow that to be your, I always love to say, give your words and your breath direction. Give your words and your breath direction. Every morning when you wake up, give your words and your breath direction, something to achieve for you on that day. Don't get mad at people because they crossed your boundaries. Get mad at yourself because you allowed them to cross your boundary. That's why I was for real mad. That's why I was mad that I allowed someone to cross my boundary over and over and over and over and over again. And because I said, I wish somebody would, I wish a career would, I wish this would happen. And it did. And I didn't do nothing about it. That's why I was mad. I might have been mad at the job, the situation, but I was more mad at me. So what is your non-negotiable? What is your breaking point? What is that one thing? And then do something about it. Make that decision. And y'all, when I tell you, it's been a minute. I've been working through this for a while. I mean that. Like everything had to stop in order for me to make a decision. Everything had to stop in order for me to make that decision. Like everything stopped. People were calling, emailing. And one of the blessings was I lost my phone during this. For 14 days, I was without a phone. So I couldn't contact or reach nobody even I wanted to. But I think I needed that time to come to the decision and to understand that I wasn't mad at the career. I wasn't mad at the job. I wasn't mad at anybody. I wasn't mad at a friendship. I was mad at JoJo because I said these were my standards. And the wonderful thing about this journey is that it's always evolving. You are always learning and you are always growing. And the more you set these boundaries, the more you develop more. And so because I had a boundary here and I raised some here, it doesn't mean I let go of any of these. And because I was so focused on these boundaries up here, I was letting people trample all over these boundaries down here. Boo, they all important. They all important to you. So on this lovely evening, I want you to have an amazing day. Please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. If your friends and family don't have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel. They can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows. Don't forget, we have the Sister Rise Retreat coming up. It is going to be in Savannah, Georgia, October the 16th through the 18th. Yes, I understand COVID is going on. Yes, we will still have the retreat. It is open to 12 women. So we will be having it. And I hope that you will take the time to come. If you have any questions about the retreat, just send me a message. Me or my assistant one will get back to you and answer all of your questions. So I want you to be amazing. I want you to have a beautiful evening. I want you to be peaceful, period, because there's nothing after that. Y'all don't talk about my braids. Y'all worked out hard today. Like I sweated hard today. Let me leave you with the 2 quotes for the evening. The best. Yes, Rosie worked hard too. The best thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time. For Abraham Lincoln. Don't be waiting for some big future. Ooh, one day when this is going to happen. Boo, every day is that one day. Every day is your future. The second quote, don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. Plant the seed today. Plant it tonight. It will start to grow and germinate by tomorrow. So I hope you have an amazing evening. And I will see you guys here bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good one.
Thank you again for listening to the Live Past Crazy Show with Yanmitra JoJo. She is the only Live Past Crazy specialist, and she is glad you spent your time with her. If you would like to know more about why she knows crazy and about her journey, she invites you to check out her website, www.livepastcrazy.com, as well as follow her on social media. Yanmitra is her tag for IG, Twitter, and Facebook, JANMETRA. She also invites you to join her on the Fearless Morning Show, weekdays at 7:15 a.m. on Facebook Live. Again, you can find us on Facebook with the Fearless Morning Show page or by name. Remember, as a result of working with the only Live Past Crazy specialists, individuals are able to identify the crazy in their lives and develop a specific blueprint to begin to live past crazy. Do you know anybody who needs to live past crazy? Then send them over her way, because there is life after crazy. Be peaceful, period. And Yanmitra will see you guys on the next show.